Now then, people, and welcome back to the Just Your Football Show. I hope you are all doing well. It is Tuesday, the 6th of February, which today means three things, three important things. First of all, it is the anniversary of Jesse Marsch's sacking. Happy fecking days. And coupled with that, we have now the appointment of the new head of recruitment, well thought of, Jordan Miles. What a coincidence that is. Maybe it isn't a coincidence. It's like from old to new on the 6th of Feb. And finally, of course, the most important thing of today, I've got my theory. Of course, there's a match tonight. Make sure you join us on the watch along. If I don't mention the theory, please don't bring it up because it means I failed. So fingers crossed that doesn't happen. But listen, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, get your comments in, and of course hit that notification bell. And I'll see you on the other side. I don't care. Hey, it's 1-0. We're fucking down. 13th in the championship. The takeover happened as I said it would. People will be. Oh, when have we got Leeds? So today, Leeds United have officially announced their new head of recruitment, Jordan Miles. And Miles will be expected to work alongside technical director Greta Steinson, transfer advisor Nick Hammond, and of course, the man with the plan, the manager, Daniel Farker. And the most important thing for us as Leeds United fans, his main crux of the role will be to help in signing players for both the first team and the youth teams to ensure that this club is set up for the short, mid and long-term future. It's quite interesting that we've seen of late quite a lot of these young prospects being moved on. We've seen McGurk leave, for example, Lewis Bate, even some of them sent out on loan, and you start to think, do they have a future here? It's almost like Leeds United and the 49ers are clearing the decks ahead of Jordan Miles coming in. Jordan comes with vast experience, and we will get into what that experience looked like a little bit further on in the video. But he's someone that Leeds United have tracked now for several months. I remember doing a video on him like well before Christmas, to be fair. But in that video, we just touched on him briefly. What I want to do is just look a little bit more in depth at what Jordan Miles' role will be and what we can expect to get from him. He joins, of course, from Scottish Premiership outfit Aberdeen, but has also held several roles at West Ham, Derby County and Ipswich Town, so comes with a wealth of experience. So Miles more recently spent 7 months at Aberdeen, and prior to that, he had a 2-year spell at West Ham under David Moyes as a video analyst. Now, this comes at a time, of course, when West Ham were fighting for Europe, so it's a good time in their history while he was there. He wasn't just tasked with video analysis either. He also worked as a scout during his time at West Ham. I believe he was key in the signings of players like Soufal and Souček, who have took to the Premier League like a duck to water and have been key players within that West Ham setup that have seen them competing now in Europe. And prior to that, he was at Ipswich for 5 years working as their chief analyst. So what actually is his role at Leeds United? What will it entail? What's it going to be? So ultimately, the role of a head of recruitment is to identify and attract top players, exciting prospects to this football club. He will ultimately lead the recruiting department at Leeds United, developing and executing sourcing strategies. What players does Daniel Farker needs? This is how we're going to attack it, and then implementing them recruiting programs to ensure that we're scouring the best markets in Europe and from further afield. We've seen how well Brighton have operated of late, picking up players from South America, for example, and selling them on for a huge profit. It's clear the 49ers want something similar. We've seen Brentford, their model, work to perfection. And we've seen that in-house with the likes of Nick Hammond, Greta Steinson looking at English players. I believe Jordan Miles now will be tasked with increasing Leeds United's markets. As we know, and as we've said, we've seen West Ham bring in players from unknown leagues and had great success with them. And they'll have to set and achieve certain recruiting goals, whether that's players to bring in for profit, players that have a route to the first team that are going to have an impact, on games for Leeds United. And then ultimately, we know how football works these days. It's all about money, right? You bring in low, you sell them on high until you're at a position where you can say, no, we're going to keep this player. And he won't have to do that just on his own. Obviously, he will liaise with key stakeholders within the football club, as we already know, Daniel Farker, Nick Hammond, Greta Steinson. We are now building a good core group of transfer professionals that know the game inside out, that will be able to take us forward. We know one-man band at this football club didn't work in Victor Orta. He was running the asylum, the lunatics were running the asylum at Leeds United. It's a total steer away from that. It's a steering to how top clubs operate. No longer will Leeds United be League One behind the scenes and potentially Premier League on the pitch. We will operate as a top club both on the grass and behind the scenes. And that's all I want for my football club. And I know you do too. I think another thing to go through is the fact that he isn't coming as a scout, right? That's not his job. He will be able to bring in certain talent scouts that maybe he's worked with, he's done it himself. He'll know which ones have a keen eye on certain areas of the world where, you know, they're specialists in that department. He won't be tasked with doing that. Of course, it'll be his final sign-off, potentially, before it goes to Daniel and the rest of the team. But he ultimately is in charge of that scouting department without actually being on, you know, on the grass, if you like, himself. He'll come up with the overall strategy that they will have to implement. Ultimately, he will oversee a team of scouts. One thing I did like as well, having a look at what makes a great head of recruitment, if you like, one of the key points that when doing a bit of research, one of the key points that stands out is math and statistical analysis. Now, you know I'm not big on statistics, but we know the way football is these days, right? It's all driven by statistics. And ultimately, anyone involved in recruitment now needs to be able to use data and metrics to assess the performance and potential of a player, of a talent. And the fact that he's worked in video analysis at a club like West Ham, he has a wealth of experience. We're not just dropping in, you know, an ex-bank manager, for example, that we've seen at Man United in the past. Oh, I used to work for a bank, let's bank. What the heck does he know about football? Jordan Miles has worked in football all his career. So this can only be a positive for Leeds United. I think he has all the tools needed in order to make this role a success. I think the whole transfer conglomerate that we have is now steered for success. And, you know, this overhaul that he expects in the summer, it's looking good, man. Just sticking on that data and metrics and analysis and statistics, it's clearly where the 49ers want us to move. That's what they do with their American football team, which is currently set to, you know, play in the Super Bowl at the top, at the pinnacle. I don't know enough about rugby, but I know that that's the game, and they're at it. And the fact that he has skills and qualities within that area already, having worked in video analysis for certain clubs and now being the guy that's going to run the stuff, can only be a positive for Leeds. Like I say, towards the end of his tenure at West Ham, having taken on multiple roles, before he did leave, he was involved in scouting, evaluating and signing players for West Ham. And he used data and statistics to put them players to the owners, to David Moyes, to say, look, he's going to give you X, Y, Z. This is why this player will suit. He's got a degree in sports science, a master's degree in performance analysis. He's like the JUSTJOE's Lockie. And ultimately, just to finish up, which hopefully whets your appetite, Miles is actually regarded within circles as one of the most promising and innovative recruiters in the football industry right now, with a special talent for finding and attracting players from various markets and backgrounds, different leagues, etc., that Leeds probably right now don't have an eye on. And ultimately, the 49ers now expect him to bring a fresh and modern approach to the football club that can then help the club achieve its long-term goals. And for me, it's just another chip in the 49ers bank to say, we're making moves, we're steering this football club into the modern era, and we're priming it for success. And having done a little bit of research, the acquisition of Jordan Miles really excites me, and I hope it does you. I expect a massive summer. Even it doesn't matter which league we're in, I expect a big summer. Hopefully it's in the Premier League. Let me know your thoughts in the comments though. Do you think it's, don't really mean, I'm just bothered about what's on the pitch? But ultimately it's bigger than that these days, isn't it? Please do smash a like on this video. Make sure you've got notifications on, because we're live tonight, of course, for the FA Cup 4th round replay against Plymouth. We can chat some more then as well. There'll be a live post-match instantly after, so make sure you're locked into that. Enjoy the rest of your day. Say prayers for the Fury, and I'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.